It's hashtag Ask Lauren. Okay, I pre-taped a bunch of these a while ago so I could like stay on top of it. I have a question about personal boundaries. DM Pranio, or Danielle, I think her name is. She said, I'm curious where you draw the line between personal life and YouTube life. You're very open and honest in your videos, and you have a lot of vlog posts. It makes me wonder what boundaries you set, if any, for yourself as a YouTuber. I do have boundaries because you see what I want you to see, and I am very honest and open, and I think that that's important. I think that's why this channel has done well. I think that's why you're watching. So thank you. And I definitely found an outlet here on YouTube where I could be a lot more honest and open, where I feel this like compelling need to want to share a lot of information for some reason. I don't know, it makes me feel better. It's almost like therapy. Like, I just can't hold it back. I have to say what I want to say. And sometimes it's sassy, and sometimes it's rude, and sometimes it's negative. And I feel like by doing that, I don't get a lot of negative comments, but it does kind of annoy me when people in the comments get mad at me saying something I just think. Now, I'm not saying you should always say everything you think, because everything you think isn't always correct. And, you know, it could be prejudice or a number of things. But, I mean, in my everyday, day-to-day life, which I'm very aware I do not take seriously, and a lot of times my life is very trivial, but it's also entertaining to people out there, and so that's why I keep doing it. If it ever becomes not entertaining, or I don't feel like people care, then I'm not going to do it. The whole thing I had to get over here was I didn't think people cared. I was like, why would anyone watch this boring life of mine or anything? And then I just did it, and then all of a sudden people were interested in things and then asked me questions, and then I put it out there. So you can't get mad at me for being honest and saying what I really say. I have every right to do that. And so my boundaries do not really come into play when it's about spreading information, or even just trying to have an open discussion about something. I don't have all the answers. I've said this 1,000 times, and I always make sure to say this because I don't know anything. But I can tell you what I think or how I feel. Everything I say is always with a question mark. There's like very few things definitively that I would say is like for sure, like you're not going to sway me on this. So I like that I've been able to be honest and open and have discussions. My boundaries are starting to come into play now, because the more I do this and the more people watching and the more people who subscribe and watch, the less I feel like I can be as open, because I'm opening myself up to criticism. And I'm not gonna lie, it is irritating. I know it comes with the territory, and I can't take it personally, and I have to constantly remind myself that, but I've had to stop reading the comments so much, because as much as I want to see, there's a lot of positive comments, and I know that, and I appreciate that, and thank you. And a lot of people just come to my defense in the comments, which is like the most ideal scenario. But for whatever reason, human nature, we tend to focus on like the few people who are tearing us apart. And I don't know why we do that, but we do. And I say we because we all do this, and I'm doing this with my YouTube channel and in my comments. So I really, every time I go to read the comments, realize I have to stop reading the comments, because it always feels like people are criticizing me in a way. Like it feels like, because I'm putting my life on display for everyone to watch, and so you're just going to express your opinions about what you watch, what you see. And I just don't want to hear it. Like I do sometimes, but sometimes I just don't, because it just affects what I'm going to do next, and it affects the content. And so I don't want it to, because I still just want this to be a place where I do what I want. I don't overthink it. I don't, you know, try and script what I'm going to say or think that hard about it, because I really just want it to be honest and like off the cuff and what I'm feeling in that moment. So I try to do that, and I'm going to try to continue to do that, but I'm just being totally honest right now in that I really can't read the comments that much. I try to skim through them. Really, there's not that many negative comments, so thank you, because there are channels where obviously they're getting a lot more criticism, and I don't know how people would deal. It kind of freaks me out. Like if this were to get bigger and there were more people watching, then there's going to be more criticism. There's going to be more trolls or whatever. And like at the end of the day, I don't really care. It's not making me lose sleep at night. What's making me lose sleep at night is like the amount of work I have to do, but not like what you guys think of me. That's not making me lose sleep. So the other place where boundaries come into play is like with my relationship with John, and with certain things that happen with this is a business, running Hot for Food and doing YouTube and all the other content creation and hosting and different things that I do. I don't tell you everything. I mean, I don't talk about I don't talk about money that I make. I don't talk about every single gig that I'm doing. I don't talk about my family that much. Out of respect for them, they don't want to be on this. And also with John, like I've talked about this before, but like, you know, we go through stuff, but like I don't need to show it on this channel. I mean, you've clearly seen moments where like we're not at our best, and I just don't want to open that up to criticism and judgment. I do share a lot of personal issues, but there's other personal issues and like things that I'm doing and going through that like I just don't need to talk about. Whenever I have insight or something that I think might help you from what I've learned, then I'm gonna share that. But like while I'm going through it and I'm confused or whatever, that sounds weird, like I'm confused, but like just like with emotions and like things that I'm going through, like I'm kind of just like, well, now I'm gonna tell you, but like I'm just like fucking scared about this business, and like I'm scared about sustaining this channel and scared about sustaining Hot for Food, and then like the pressure of the cookbook. Like at this very moment, I'm like completely stressed out. So, but like, do you want to hear that? No, because I feel like what ends up happening when I say that is like I'm never allowed to complain or whine. If I got 2 comments that were like, oh, you're complaining, like when people said, oh, you're complaining about your Airbnb, that pissed me off, and I got like kind of pissed off and mad about it, because I was like, who cares? I'm complaining about an Airbnb. Like everyone has complaints in life, like leave me the fuck alone. That's how it felt when I read those comments, even though many of you were coming to my defense. Most of you didn't care out of the people that watched, but I focused in on those 2 things. So I guess now I see I have no boundaries, because now I'm just telling you what I actually think. Obviously, I'm in control. I shoot my own vlogs. So I decide what I shoot, and then I edit it, and I decide what goes in the edit and what doesn't. A lot of stuff does go into the edit. Obviously, I'm doing longer vlogs. I'm not leaving much on the cutting room floor. But I'm still controlling the message. Like, I mean, I think that that is a boundary thing. It's like I still decide what I say and what I do on here and what I don't. But I think at the end of the day, the more open and honest you are, the more benefit it will have to people watching. You can't please everybody, and I really just have to let go of that. And I'm trying. I'm working on that. I think this has all been a weird experiment of me doing this, and I learn every time I do it. And I think I am starting to build up more boundaries, because now it's pretty clear to me like what people want to see here, and it's mainly about vegan stuff, and it's mainly about vegan lifestyle stuff and food. And the other stuff, while there are people watching, it's not as many people. So I don't need to feel like I need to put it all out there necessarily, because that's not what people are here to watch. You're here to watch what I ate in a day. So anyway, I hope I answered your question. I'm not sure if I did, but that was an interesting little outlet there for me to tell you what really is going on in my head a little bit. So thanks for watching, but really, really, really thank you for watching. I mean, it's fascinating to me that there are people out there that wanna watch. That now you're actually asking for longer vlogs. So that's just gonna happen because I don't have time to cut shorter ones, and I'm just like shooting my whole week or like doing whatever and putting it all together like A to B. Like I'm not cutting anything up really, because I don't have time. So that's just going to naturally happen, so take it or leave it. But thank you for supporting and watching, and follow me on social media and whatever, because I'll be doing more stuff behind the scenes when I'm posting about the cookbook and like recipe testing. It'll all be on Insta Story and Snapchat. Okay, I gotta stop talking now.